is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
All right, man. I took up the
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
He is a DB of the show, man. And MH, man, we got to do a live, man. You know,
we back.
We back. Hey, and we coming.
We ain't hard to find.
We are not hard to find, man. So without further ado, man, let's start bringing them in, man. When you see him, call them out, man.
CEO.
What's happening?
Bobby Stills. EP. Demont, brother.
What's good?
What's going on, family?
Yo.
What's going on, Chandler? How y'all doing, man?
Cooling, man. What's happening with you guys?
Another day.
I love it.
All right, man. So who wants to? Does anybody got something they got to say with their chest right now? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna start real quick because how the Rams lose 41-0? That's my only question today. I think.
You said what?
The Rams. I know it's preseason, but 41 zip. Like you can't even like a field goal, something. It's just it's funny to me because I have a friend. He's a big Rams fan. It was all we going back to back, blah blah blah, and they went 5-12, and now they're doing this. So I'm really excited for their season.
Well, they got their quarterback got to have a picture book to know his teammates, so that might be the problem to start off with.
It's wild. It's the Broncos country. Let's ride.
I mean, it's preseason, right? Like, I mean, you know, I know you're not going to tell me how excited that you guys are going to the Super Bowl because y'all beat the Raiders this weekend, but you know, your pops was kind of excited. He made sure that everybody knows that.
I already know. I'm not one of them. It's all your type of fans.
But EP on that, what's your thoughts on Trey Lance?
I'm excited, to be completely honest. We only had 4 starts, so I can't really imagine that they have that much of a read on him to let him go for a 4th rounder is kind of wild. But it feels like we got him for free. I think at least at the minimal, I guess he's gonna light a fire under Dak. Dak's gonna have some more competition other than Cooper Rush. You know what I mean?
EP, how is that possible for him to light a fire under Dak? What work he put in?
Which I mean,
no way he scares Dak.
That's young talent. That Jerry didn't let him know. Nobody knew that he was bringing in. Like it wasn't like, oh hey, by the way, we're looking for another quarterback to have under you. It was.
There's a reason he ain't let nobody know because nobody would care.
I mean, I don't see why not. He's had 4 career starts in 2 years. You can't tell me that you have the playbook on Trey Lance. He broke his ankle and then he hasn't played. So I mean, nobody knows what he's capable of, in my opinion. But
nah, Shanahan knows what he's capable of, and apparently he didn't think he was capable of being a starting quarterback, so he got rid of him and got what he can get out of him.
He had to think he was capable of something if he was ready to replace Garoppolo, who took it to the Super Bowl with Trey Lance.
Yeah, that was early on, not now.
I mean, and they moved up to get him too, right?
Yeah,
traded a lot.
So I don't know. I'm excited. Anything is honestly better at this point. Shit, we need something, man.
Maybe I'll get a little dual quarterback, little bring back the Wildcat shit, right?
That's what I'm saying.
At minimum, slash Cordell.
At minimum.
At minimum, give me that slash.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I'm excited.
Anybody else got the predictions on their team or how they feeling about after preseason?
You know how I'm sitting.
Oh, here.
So
no, don't be real about that.
Come on. You want to spell it out with me?
Go ahead.
J-E-T-S. Jets. and look, here's why I'm confident and not foolishly confident. Because I remember I was much younger when the footprints that Aaron just fucking followed with Brett Favre, right? Mm-hmm. I was young enough and just naive enough about the game to be like, yo, we got Brett Favre. And it's like, nah, Brett Favre was done before he got to us. Aaron still has a lot left in the tank. He's arguably the greatest, at least one of the greatest. He's in the conversation of quarterbacks. He definitely is.
I'll give him top 7.
From a talent standpoint, he definitely is. And he has a lot left, but more importantly, his surrounding cast on both sides of the ball are young and very much the real deal. So I'm very excited about the season for the first time in my entire life.
What about that division though? Can I ask that about the AFC East?
It's a very competitive decision, competitive division. But I'm still confident.
And even if you get out of division, you still got Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes.
But we at least have somebody who won't fold under the pressure of
who won't fold.
We talking about the same person?
Wait a minute.
Not in New York. Fold? He won't.
Shit. Under what? So as we got D says, he's not going to fold under his line not blocking, or is he not going to fold under the pressure because that New York media is a beast.
He'll be all right. He's enough of a weirdo that he'll be all right. So
yeah, as long as he has his ashwagandha, right? Whatever his little magic juice.
He's too socially
awkward
to be really affected by the New York media.
Okay,
I believe so.
He may come out. Maybe he'll feel comfortable and finally come out in New York. No, too soon. Don't do that. Yeah. Okay. Then I have to make Then I have to make an apology video like my man Ryan Clark did to do it. Like, hey, some people took me. It was supposed to be a joke. Sorry.
Did he made an apology video?
You see his apology circuit? Yeah, man. Ryan Clark came back with an apology because I guess Tua was like, keep your name out my mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. So little beef, with the young gun and the old head. So. All right. Anybody else on their team, man? Before we kind of jump in here, man.
Well, I'm a Giants fan, so let me just have to step back for a minute. Feel a hell of a lot better than that Trey Lance move. So I'm just here to let y'all know Giants will compete, but I don't know. It's looking rough.
I'm not about competing. I got the Washington Commanders or whatever the hell their name is now taking your spot. Under us, by the way. Go Cowboys.
Appreciate it.
I like what the Giants are doing, man. I mean, Vanilla Vic gonna play better this year.
Vanilla Vic.
Saquon back. Darren Waller over there.
That's a big thing. That was one of the things I want to talk about, right? Like the disrespect of the NFL running backs, right? Like, I mean, we got a couple, like Josh Jacobs just got signed, right, this weekend. And then it took a while for your man Saquon D. So it's just like, and then who's still out there? Oh, so our Cowboy fan, what's his damn name? Huh?
Zeke.
Mm-hmm. Still he looking to eat somewhere.
He in New England.
But you know what? That ain't really that actually was a good pickup for New England, the way they run that ball. Yeah, and I think if Zeke come in there in some pretty decent shape, he's gonna get enough carries to prove his point that he still got a little juice in him.
Absolutely,
they will run that ball.
He got a lot of juice in him.
Absolutely, I have a friend who's a Cowboys fan, diehard, but he's an avid Zeke hater, and I don't understand the hate, honestly.
Now Zeke is the real deal. And you said he signed in New England?
Yeah.
Listen, that slid under.
Be a good look.
Yeah.
And the Jets got Dalvin Cook, right? Your boys got Dalvin Cook now too.
So is that official?
Yeah, the Jets.
The Jets, right?
They got him the fish. He signed.
Yeah. So yeah.
Waiting to the wire.
I think if I was a college running back, I would be doing individual drills with wide receivers in college right now. Learn how to catch the ball out of the backfield, learn how to run some routes, and you'll be good. So
respectable.
So moving over, if no one else, we're gonna just keep the shit flowing tonight. So we got to give it up to our aces. All right, they just came from the White House, right? So that was dope. We had some people that have been on the show before. So KD, Kalani was out there. She's works on the business side, and then we also had Coach Rayford. We had she was the coach of the year for Las Vegas. So they invited her out to go, which was super dope. That Coach Rayford, Birdie, as some of us affectionately know her as. Got to go out there, man, and it's just it was cool to see him at the White House, right? And they had Madam VP kind of give them the love, and the Aces is just cooking right now, and it's just going to be interesting to see who knocks them off the pedestal if they're going to take it, all the way with what they broke the record. MH, what they got 30 wins or something like that, which is the league record,
most in WNBA history. I mean, they got a big game tonight against the Liberty. The Liberty is one of them teams that's gave him a little bit of a problem. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting.
They're down right now.
They're down right now.
Down 16.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, again, I think this goes back to
what quarter is it though?
Fourth, 7.5 left.
Oh,
yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
That's two in a row. That's 2 in a row because they lost to I want to say Washington.
Mystics. Yeah, they lost to the Mystics while they were in Washington. They played them. And the thing about them was like, Becky, Coach Hammond was like, yo, we're going to just start resting them because they're tired, right? So hopefully, your players and your team. And this is kind of like, we're going to figure out, what we're going to do. Maybe the rest is going to get them for the final push because like season ends, like the regular season ends like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Is CP coming back? Is her foot all right, or she's still doing her thing?
They didn't give a timeline, right? Like, so I don't know if she's coming back, in time for the playoffs. And then what's the girl that has a little home issues that she's dealing with?
I don't think she's a contributor anyway.
You don't think so? Off the bench?
Nah.
But no, I have no updates on that. So we'll definitely see what happens and see if they kind of keep it going.
Shout out Chelsea Gray.
Point guard. But it was definitely dope to see him in there. All right, so we had a historical moment in Black history on August 5th. So some of y'all saw the how we led with the show, or just kind of how we promoted the show. Not really any culture references, but it's just funny. I don't know if you're a pastor, but there's been a couple of pastors that's been using sermons about August 5th and the Montgomery. Some people call it the Montgomery. Yes. I've seen clips where 2 pastors have used that as a part of their sermon. So it's definitely culturally relevant. Only thing sports related, I guess I've been seeing people take chairs to the gym and training with them. So
chairs to the gym and training with them.
So that's on another level, man. But
Lord.
Fat are part of culture, man. And this is really quick. I just want to get anybody's opinion on that. Like, is next August 5th, are we going to do any remembrance? Is it going to be a cookout or anything?
I think it's a fad.
This day, I think that day will never be forgotten in the Black community for sure. Because that quite possibly for most of us in our time, in our generation, is the first resemblance of a revolution or fight back from a physical standpoint that any of us have ever seen, like ever. Like realistically, when you think about it, if you go 60 years in the past, like what happened wouldn't have ended that way in Alabama.
Yeah, someone was dead.
You're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and that was only 60 years ago. And so, like I said, most of us have never seen anything like that. In that capacity, not like a white person, a Black person fighting, but like other Black people coming and jumping in and getting involved. We've never seen anything like that in our day. So we'll never forget it. I don't know if we're going to celebrate it, but you might get some 1-year anniversary T-shirts, sold on eBay or Facebook Market and shit like that.
Absolutely.
But that's my take on that. So
I agree.
So also in kind of like historic or moving on, and I'm glad we definitely have resident music purveyor of Black in Sports CEO on, but we're talking about the 50 years of hip hop. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to see MH and I do the show, just celebrate like hip hop and sports, and just as we all know, being from the culture, like there's just such a that correlation with it, So I don't know if you've seen the show. Some of you saw the show because you guys hit us with some people we missed, but what do you guys see as far as a hip hop influence on sports, man, and where that's going?
It's going nowhere but up, man. I'm from the Bronx, so Grand Hill, White Plains Road, and a lot of family in the music industry. I've been in that music industry, managing artists and so forth. And I mean, the biggest thing right now is everything that culture has done, right? It ain't just about sports, not just about fashion. It's really evolved into something that to me that I really wish it got back to the roots. So when they talk about, hey, the 50th year of hip hop, it's bigger than anything that we've ever can imagine. It would become. It started out with just b-boys and scratching, and then the MCs came into play and so forth. So I go and look at it. EJ and I, we talked about this for quite some time, that hip hop is the culture, hip hop is the wave, it influences everything that we do. But when you look in sports, look at the type of things that they're attracting, in that sports industry right now. It's not just the sneakers, it's not just the Jordans, it's not just Drakes and all of that. But I really think that, we as a culture really need to look back at where we started and get back to those roots, because that's the music I listen to. I still listen to 80s and 90s hip hop, that other stuff that come on the radio, not to shun anybody and so forth. My parents said the same thing. What's that rap crap? And so forth. But you really think about it, like, it's just going to keep moving forward. And I just think we're doing good for the culture. We're doing good for ourselves. I think we really need to go back to the roots and really talk about lyricism and everything else, all the chains, all the money, all that stuff. That stuff didn't matter back in the day because we ain't have that, So, that's my little 2 cents with that. I don't know what else somebody else got on it.
I think, go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was going to say, man, you hit it right on point. I mean, the culture is hip hop. I mean, that's us. That's what we grew up to. I mean, even EJ, you can remember when we was 13 and 14 and would go up in your room and spit bars to instrumentals, We played football together in high school. We listened to hip hop on the way there, and we talked about hip hop even while we played sports. So, I mean, it is the culture. I mean, what I heard somebody say is you got drug dealers going to rap and becoming millionaires when they used to be on the block and maybe been thousandaires and possibly go to jail. Now that culture and the streets is going to hip hop, and they're making money, life-changing money. And just to tell the story of what either they live or people around them live. So, I mean, you can't deny that hip hop is the culture of, I guess I would hate to say black people, but for the most part, yeah. And people in the struggle and people that was a part of that.
First, I'm gonna say, Bobby, some of them drug dealers should have found another route into
no doubt
hip hop music, because rapping just ain't it. But I mean, yeah, one thing that kind of bothered me throughout this whole thing is that those who were either making money off the 50th anniversary of hip hop or trying to promote it kind of minimized it or trivialized it to just being about like rap music. But as we keep saying, hip hop is a culture, and it is a culture that permeates through all levels, all areas of society. Like, it is the dominant culture of the world. Hip hop, you go overseas, the way they dress, sometimes the way they talk, the music they listen to, how they eat, what they eat, all of this stuff is like really attributed to hip hop. And I think the 50th, this being the 50th anniversary, which is so important, I think it was right on time. Because as Demont said, like, when we're speaking about just kind of like from the musical aspect, even like the direction is kind of going, this shines a light back on the really, really, really talented, really dope people who are just in hip hop because they love the culture, figured out a way to make a lot of money on it, but, really are here for the culture. Like, I saw a meme or somebody posted something on Instagram about, if you look at all the old head or the old school tours, all these things are selling out, all of them. And all these young people can't even pack a club. Like, they're canceling club dates because they're not selling enough tickets. And so it speaks to the fact that even their generation, or the people who you would think would be automatically connected to the type of music they're making, they're really not even connecting to it. They're connecting to the stuff that came out early 2000s, 90s, 80s, and stuff like that. So I'm super grateful for all the attention that the culture has gotten, and especially those who kind of paved the way, the Hall of Famers, if you will, of the culture, from Flash and Kool Herc to LL to, even up to Drake and the Jay-Z's, like these people are being celebrated and honored. And I think it's so important for the culture so the younger people can know, like, we've been doing this. This isn't new. There's young people who think Jay-Z is just Beyonce's husband. You know what I mean? Like, so, even though he hasn't been involved in much from a performance standpoint, but, these names are being going around. You can tell. I saw a meme. Somebody didn't even know LL made music. They thought he was just an actor.
NYPD Blue nigga.
You know what I mean? And so now they get to see that, and I think that's super important.
So what's dope is that was some of the stuff that we did through the show. So if you haven't seen the show, go back and check out that episode. When we did a parallel, just having fun, MH and I kicking back the parallels between sports and hip hop. And like you said, Jay-Z may have not been a front runner as far as music, but he is over all the Super Bowl music that's been coming out for the last couple of years, right? And people forget it, don't know that. So those are some of the fun connections that we did with sports. D, I cut you off. What were you about to say?
No, you brought up a good point. You dropped two names, and they both performing on Saturday this weekend. LL Todd Smith, that's what we call him. Family calls him Todd. LL Cool J, Saturday at the MGM Grand Garden. Drake at T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? Two things just knocking heads like that, but two separate things of culture, two separate things of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about somebody that hasn't even done shows in 20-something years. LL coming back on the scene. It's gonna be a vibe. But then you go and look at the ticket costs and you look at all that. Like, these dudes paved the way, right? But you're looking at tickets for Drake's no minimums $500. Like, come on, like, how is a community really supposed to build around that? It's built for the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between music. There's a difference between entertainment. There's a lot of great black entertainers out there. Don't get me wrong, right? There ain't that many black great rappers, like just straight rapping. There's a lot of them, don't get me wrong, but they're all chasing the dollar, right? They started with the 360 deals, and then people just got burnt out and they losing money from it, so it's all a money chase right now. It ain't about what the culture was really about, getting everybody together. It's all a money chase. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
EJ, real quick, I just wanted to say, every time somebody brings up sports and hip hop, I think of the NBA's greatest commissioner, yet maybe culturally deaf commissioner, and David Stern, trying to remove hip hop by telling players they have to wear suits. It's like hip hop is so powerful. There's no way you can contain it. You can't build a dam around it. It's gonna bust through. And if you look at the NBA, if you look at the NFL, you could look at. I remember going to baseball games in the 80s and 90s, and you never heard rap. Like, it was only like rock, stadium jams. Now you got dudes, jock jams. Now you got dudes going up to the plate, and they playing 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Or it's
walk-up music, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that there are DJs in every professional sport arena, like, that's hip-hop when you think about it, because the DJ, as we know it, didn't exist before hip-hop.
The CEO, you remember how Dave Stern, when he did do that change, and then you had Allen Iverson wearing the baggy suit with the chains hanging?
Yeah.
So he tried to, and it didn't work. He couldn't take the hip-hop out.
You can't. And, like, come on, like, why would you? Yeah. Like, everything about black culture is the reason why you're making money. Why would you want to stifle it? This doesn't make sense.
I agree. Does anybody know who the first rapper in the Super Bowl was? Might as well just go ahead and Google it now, because we all going to be wrong. I had to look it up again.
The first rapper in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Because it's the NFL.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're right.
1998. Go look it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go look it up.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have guessed that at all.
Never would have guessed that.
I wouldn't have thought her. I was gonna say something like Will Smith or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I just saw the episode of Fresh Prince with Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Or Hammer or somebody like.
One of them.
Hey, CEO, I was thinking Hammer too when he said it. Like, man, it has to be Hammer.
Yeah.
Right.
Hammer, and then also, like, I mean, Hammer a lot of rappers have a close affiliation to actually playing sports, but Hammer, like that dude was like really, really good at baseball. I think he had like a tryout with like a
don't say the A's.
Professional team with the A's or something like you know what I mean? Hip hop is everywhere.
So that's one of the couple of things that we pointed out, and MH, you know, keep me on point here if I'm missing. But those are some of the things we talked about, right? Some of the athletes or rappers that were athletes, you know, because you hear like, I don't know if it's Drake, but is it 2 Chainz or Future? One of them said like if they wouldn't have gotten the rap and they would have played ball. We always joke about Mr. International's homeboy J. Cole and his basketball acumen. But no, there's a lot of athletes, you know, entertainers that wanted to be athletes and that kind of whole story.
You got Master P.
Yep, that was definitely one we covered.
P had real hoop skills though.
Yeah,
so he's not just somebody that was talking about it. He could actually ball.
Yeah, but he actually, meaning like he really had an actual tryout. Like there's some that you know was.
I think Pete might have been a better basketball player than a rapper.
I didn't need to see him play. I know that he's a better basketball player than he's a rapper.
I know that. Your boy, he ain't a rapper, but your boy Suge Knight had some tryouts, didn't he, for the league?
Yeah, Suge Knight played for UNLV here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he was a pretty decent athlete.
And I think Nelly had a tryout with the Pirates.
Not know that.
Yeah, he had a tryout with the Pirates or something. Like he was a really good baseball player.
All right, so the one thing we got most flack on about that show is we missed some athletes that are rappers, right? So that's another crossover that doesn't always go so well.
Y'all must have forgot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Must be the money.
Y'all must have forgot. Who was that?
That was Roy Jones.
Thank you, man. They didn't give him no love.
Hey, that actually wasn't a bad cut, man.
Thank you. Man, he was knocking cats out there. As he made it as a highlight tape track, man.
Yeah.
Must be the money.
Hey, money is always good. Like after you listen to the show, it's good for y'all to miss. So the other one we MH and I talked about was the N1 mixtape, right? Like it wasn't a rapper, but it was just like so culturally specific to like, you know, how they use street culture, street ball, and made a whole brand out of it, you know, and it was around the music, which, you know, mixtapes was just a whole form of culture, right? That disseminated and got music out. And what's the other one? There was another one that out there I hit you about that we missed, and I can't was it a rapper?
I can't remember. I'll look at it though. I'm still anytime you say athletes and rapper, I think of Tony Parker in that French album.
So wait, so what is your question about like ball players turn rappers?
Yes. And we went because we went through them all. I think we did a great job.
Did you mention Mario Chalmers' whack ass?
Yeah, so they were on an irrelevant list. So we did we did like significant people.
Like significant players that
and then we kind of ran off like there's some people that like have shit on wax that like, you know, we really don't want to count. You know, like anybody once you get money, all these motherfuckers got studios and they create.
You remember Cedric Ceballos, his song? That wasn't that bad, man. He had some bars. Come on, man.
Did you be shacking there, EJ?
Relive that, man. That wasn't that bad.
I'm gonna have to go. I didn't even know he had one. He just doesn't seem like somebody that could rap. So I was gonna, you know.
Him and C-Web tried a little bit.
Oh God, tried is an optimal word in that shit. So go back if you not have listened to that episode and see if we miss anybody else. Okay. The sleeper that we both knew about that was just I'm gonna challenge you to all go is listen to Cole Beasley, wide receiver that used to play for. Yes. Go listen to some of his shit because it's got beats, it's lyrics. Like so, Cole Beasley was definitely another sleeper.
You already knew he got the sauce, so
slow down.
But the Black Mamba,
he makes odd sized.
Cole Bryant, the Black Mamba had some lyrics. Kobe Bryant had some lyrics.
No, pause.
No, Kobe did have some lyrics.
I don't know Kobe had some lyrics.
Kobe Bryant, relevant.
Hey, Shaq, Kobe, how my lyrics?
He said, Kobe, how's my dick taste? Come on.
Hey, but pull up that Cedric Ceballos, man. I'm telling you, that was actually a dope track.
He said no.
He was so bad that he went from rapping to becoming a DJ, by the way.
Who, Cedric Ceballos?
Yeah, that was his progression. So he still DJs.
Man, that track was dope on the basketball court. He was walking on the court spitting.
Hey, yo, Bob, it's funny that you brought up Kobe because the one record that I play that has Kobe on it, it's not because Kobe on it. It's the song he did with Brandy. But Brandy's not putting out whack music. Like the music isn't whack, the song isn't whack. It's just that Kobe's on it. And you know, for like shits and giggles, I'll let his verse go.
You think she got better bars than Kobe? Because you know she spit too now.
I mean, who did she just get at and say she had better bars than him?
Rikers Island has better bars than Kobe, and that's a prison that's been open for almost 100 years. Now, who are your my question to you, EJ and MH? Who are your top 5 athletes, rappers?
You gotta go listen to the show. We ain't giving that to you for free. Go back and listen to the show.
Yo,
put it on the show
real quick. I'm gonna date myself. I think I'm a lot older than a lot of people here. Anybody remember the Fooshniggins?
Yeah, no doubt.
Of course, yeah.
Shaq,
one of my favorite groups.
Shaq
with
Fu.
them,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but now, but EJ just dropped something about how they went from rapping to DJing. Shaq's a house DJ now. He's resident.
Yeah, he is. But Shaq had bars. Shaq had platinum albums.
Shaq had bars.
Shaq had platinum albums.
He also rapped with Peter Guns and Lord Tariq.
Yeah, he did. But Shaq had platinum albums, so he's a little bit different. He's way on a different scale than 95% of those other dudes.
Also, I'm going to push back as the only resident DJ here. Shaq is not a DJ. What he does is he plays music, but that man is not a DJ.
Now you need to stop hating on DJ Diesel out there.
He's not a DJ.
Hey, DJ Diesel's gonna be spinning this year at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Shaq getting booked for parties, man. What you talking about? He is a DJ. He getting parties.
He's got a
that's what it means. Getting booked means you're a DJ.
Booked. He getting booked, and they want to hear whatever he want to play.
No, they don't. They just want to be in the presence of Shaq.
He does do more EDM though. He doesn't do, he's not mixing and anything like that.
Well, a lot of them ain't no more. A lot of them is just using the computer.
Stop.
I
ain't talking about you, Steel.
I'm even gonna say a lot. You cannot say a lot. Man. A lot of the people who are put on Front Street, a lot of people in the EDM space in general, like they never were mixing. They were always coming in with pre-recorded sets. But in general, a lot of DJs are not mixing. There are a lot of bad DJs, that's for sure. But I'm always just, and EJ knows this, I'm always like super hypersensitive, especially in the art space when people go, they are this. And it's like, no, you might be in that space doing something, but you are not that. Right? Like I'm not like Damian Lillard got bars. I'm not gonna call Damian Lillard a rapper. Because that's not.
Whoa! Let's not go that far.
No. I'm not saying he's not talented.
He put out a serious LP though.
What I'm saying is that is not who he is. That is not who he is or what he is. A basketball player. He's not a rapper.
That's his day job.
So is Shaq a rapper?
No.
Shaq
is not bars.
Shaq's a rapper.
No, Shaq's best bars.
Listen, hey Bob, you and EJ used to kick rhymes in the locker room in high school. Were you a rapper?
Damn right.
Yeah, I was spitting hot bars. What you talking about? I ain't rapping the room. I was spitting hot bars. Thailand. DJ, it was that Busta Rhyme instrumental. You know what I'm talking about? That you had at your house? Yeah.
Speaking of athletes or student athletes and rappers.
Bobby gonna get to have a flashback and get to spit on y'all. Y'all ain't gonna be
crazy. Crazy.
This is my point. All of us who are of the hip hop culture have at one point or another done something other than just exist in the culture. That doesn't mean we are that thing.
EJ, ask your friend about the Oreo crew. My father.
Oreo crew.
Yeah, we know about your Oreo crew. His dad's rap group.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna hit him about that. All right, so look, the fun we had with this is kind of what the show went, man. So definitely go back, listen to that show, share that show, because it's like I said, it is a celebration of us and the culture. As you listen to it, there's going to be other shit that's going to keep popping up like we had today, and just kind of add to that, because that's one way we celebrate and get that out there. So moving on, we posted a list on our social, and I'm going to attempt to pull this list up and get the comments, because we've got a lot of comments on it. So I'm going to read you the title, and I should have saved it so I could have put it on the screen, but that's my bad. But we're going to get it like this. So it was the most electrifying NCAA football players of all time. All right. And if you want to have it at the crib, those you're not on your phone, you can go to Black End Sports and look at it. So because I'm gonna read it off, and you're gonna hear a name or two, and you're just gonna be like, "What?" So number 1, all right,
Reggie.
Absolutely. So I think you got that right. I don't think there's many that
gotta have a Trojan at the top, man. You know that.
Oh, there we got
gotta have a Trojan at the top.
And we already know who you think's gonna win the Heisman this year. All right, all right, so Bo Nix. No. Number 2, Michael Vick. All right. I'm gonna run through these quick so we can get the debate going. So number 2 was Michael Vick. Number 3 is Adrian Peterson. Number 4 was Vince Young. Number 5 was Charles Woodson. Number 6 was Johnny Manziel. Number 7 is Lamar Jackson from the U. Number 8 was Devin Hester. Number 9, where's Gene at when you need him? Tyrann Matthews. And number 10 was Ted Ginn Jr. from the Ohio State University.
Ooh. Why are you emphasizing the Ohio State?
All right, come on. You live there too.
All about the U.
I know it's all about the U. I gave the U the credit. Come on, man. I just didn't have one hand out.
Yeah, don't capitalize them.
I'm gonna throw one, and I shouldn't throw him out, but I think he deserves some credit. Was Peter Ward. Peter Ward was a beast for Florida State.
Yeah,
he was
highlight film, huh?
Yeah, Peter Ward was.
Peter Ward was the real deal in college. I remember that. Yeah.
And who do you take off then?
Ted Ginn.
Hey,
get him out of there.
Who'd you say, B? Who'd you say? Who?
Ted Ginn.
You said get him out of here, Ted Ginn.
Damn, y'all hating on Ted. And I mean, Ted Ginn rep Mansfield too. B, like, come on, man.
I seen somebody post in the comments. What about old Barry, man? That boy Barry Sanders was a bad boy.
He was a bad boy everywhere.
Yeah, so they were talking about his yards. Menzel deserved to be on the list.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, above Lamar Jackson.
No, hell no.
Wait, EJ, I have a question.
Lamar didn't win no championship in college.
Yeah, look where he was at though.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't say most accomplished. It said most electrifying.
A lot of
Cam Newton that 1 year too is crazy. That 1 year from Cam Newton is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. That was good. EJ, I was looking at my phone trying to get to the you guys' profile or whatever. Did you say Bo Jackson or no?
No,
he was not on the list.
He did not say Bo or Jen.
I don't like this individual. What about Tim Tebow's impact?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Give me the deal, my God.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Now we got a football guy here.
Now you got Mr. National going.
I'm not saying he's electrifying, but definitely had a good impact on the game. For sure.
No, he did.
No,
I would say in college. I would say in college he was pretty electrifying. In college,
I would say he's electrifying in college. Yeah.
I mean, even in the NFL, man, he took the Broncos to the first playoff game. And God knows how many.
Hey, fuck that, man. He cheated our Steelers, man.
Come on,
he was offsides. They should have called a fucking flag.
Hey, think about that play.
That was bullshit.
That was an electric play. We talking about electric plays.
Yo, bro, you can't be taking that man out of. You can't take him out of South Florida. That's all he got.
Didn't your boy for Michigan, the Wolverines, was it Bieniemy? Didn't he have like almost 300-400 yards one game?
That's one game.
Yeah, but that's what you're talking about, electrifying. That dude had a hell of a game. This either we talking about titles or just people that had great games.
About a season every time.
We're talking most electrifying.
You thought he was going to do something special.
Yeah, continuously. Did you mention Charles Woodson?
Yep, he's number 5.
All right, cool.
Yeah, he was 2 or 3, right? He's 5.
I will add another defensive player that don't get enough love.
Hey, was Ed Reed in the conversation at all?
He need to be.
No, but to that point, Sean Taylor was one that I was going to add on. Yeah. And LeVar Arrington might have been the scariest individual I remember ever watching in college.
Monster.
Right.
Wow. I forgot about him, man.
Jumping over the top of dude for that block.
I'm telling you.
He had a field goal block, man, when he just jumped straight over the line, man. He was raw.
Where did he play in the pro? He was in Washington, right?
Linebacker. Yep. Yeah, he played linebacker.
I think I was in DC. I think I was at Howard at the time when he was playing. And that dude was ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not bad. I think Vince Young. I mean, obviously Reggie Bush is probably 1, but I think Vince Young real close at 2. Closer than what we give him credit for.
Yeah, he won the season for them, right? Like, I mean, if you take him out of that Vince Young belongs up there. He's a game changer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other older heads that we missed?
What about you? Say Desmond Howard?
Des did not make it.
That was a monster. You said Peter Ward?
Yeah,
we did.
He
like
went on the week. Yeah.
How about Herschel? How about Herschel when he played? Because I mean, he started it like as a freshman, and just 2-3 years it was gone. And I mean, the whole time he was there, he was a monster one year. The second year, he was another monster.
Yeah, I think honestly, Jim Brown and Bo Jackson not being on. It might be the two like glaring missing people, because when you think back, because Jim Brown was at Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
And Bo was at Auburn.
Yes.
They were just two people who were men amongst boys, not only in college, but in the pros. And Bo was extremely scary in college, like extremely scary. Like the fact that the story about him running like a 4.01,
ridiculous,
with pads on,
with pads on. Like, come on, bro. Like, and he didn't even want to do it. Like, he was on his way to track practice, and they forced him to do it, and he ran of like a 4.0 whatever. But that's ridiculous.
What about your boy from Oklahoma? Was this DePriest or something? The one that had the Jerry
Marcus Dupree.
That year he had that one year at Oklahoma was crazy.
Yeah,
he was a big boy.
Yeah.
I think what takes away from Bo and Jim Brown in college is they're two-sport athletes. I mean, Jim Brown's lacrosse and Bo's baseball. I think that kind of takes away. Because I mean, for 1 year, I think Kyler Murray is legit. And he always gets disrespected when it comes to, like, supreme athletes because what he's doing in the pros. But, I mean, top 5 in 2 drafts is crazy.
Especially because he did it without watching game film.
Makes it more incredible.
And with that, Gene couldn't join us. He's on the PJ to Paris. But Gene sends me a text. He's like, hey, I can't make it, but let everyone know on there, Kyler Murray is on the clock. So if you haven't been on the show, Gene predicted Kyler Murray will not be in the league in 3 years. So this is year 2 of his 3-year prediction. He goes further and says, and I think this is a straight shot to MH, is Ben Simmons is still trash. And the last, I think, to all of us, because you know how we've been on the We Coming train, he says that Colorado will only win maybe 5 games.
That ain't true.
I don't know about that. That might be true, though.
No,
only 5?
No, it ain't.
Yeah.
No prime there.
That's not true at all. And I hate everything Colorado sports except for Jokic.
Damn.
Just put
Tell him how you really
feel. Tell him right.
Colorado will definitely win at least 7, 8 games.
You gonna be nice. See, you gonna be nice.
You said 7 or 8 games?
Yeah.
7 or 8?
I'm up there too with you. I'm up there too, about 8 or 9 games.
Because you got to understand the intimidation and the crowd that he's going to bring to some of those weaker teams that probably should beat them, but the game's going to be too big for them because they ain't used to that out of Colorado.
So they're
going to win some of that just off the crowd participation.
Do they beat UCLA?
Yes.
Yeah,
they beat Utah.
They
all right, let's just do it real quick.
They gonna be good. They
real quick, everybody, you can either tap it in or and if you're watching online, thank you for everybody that's online that's commenting. Well, we love the support. We appreciate you. So the first game, this weekend, Colorado against TCU. TCU's ranked at TCU.
TCU is a pretender, man.
Yeah,
they are, but they're too far ahead for Colorado to go in there and knock them off. So I can't give them. That's too early.
Okay, so then you just lost your whole bet. But go ahead, keep going.
TCU lost a lot. TCU lost a lot.
But they came from. They was in that. Oh, they lost a lot. They lost their quarterback.
They lost a lot.
They lost a whole. Okay, come.
I think that's going to be a good experience game for them, but they're not winning that one.
Yeah, I don't think they're winning.
Nebraska at home.
Are they at home or on
yes, sir.
Nebraska?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna smack them. That's it. So that's one. All right, Colorado at home. They play Colorado State.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're
gonna smack them. All right, so now they go to Oregon. That's 2 wins so far.
No.
They lose against Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially up there. Yeah.
What day is that game on? Is that a Thursday night game by chance?
Whatever day September 23rd is, which is I think it's a Saturday. Which I know is a Saturday.
Yes.
They gonna lose that one.
So that's lose. Okay, and now we were talking. Damn, that's cold. So we were talking.
Yeah, they gonna go ahead and lose that one right there.
All right, so we were talking about shit. Oh, USC in Colorado. They play at Colorado.
That's it. USC gonna walk straight through that, man. That's gonna.
By the way, Zachariah Branch gonna win the.
Nah, they're gonna upset the world on that one. They're gonna upset them.
And some of the players are not playing in the fourth quarter, man.
Zach Branch is winning Heisman.
They're gonna upset
them.
Freshman.
There you go. All right, I'm not giving that a definite one. All right, so we have Colorado at Arizona State.
They got that.
They got that one because Arizona.
So we had three consensus. We had three consensus. All right, so Stanford and Colorado. They play at Colorado in Colorado.
They got that.
They got that one.
Okay, 4. All right. Well, no, you don't think they win in MH?
They got that one.
Against Stanford and ASU. Yeah, those are
ASU. Yeah. I just want to make sure. So we have 4. Okay. All right. So they go to UCLA.
I think that's the one they could win.
UCLA gonna tear that ass up.
Especially after playing TCU and Oregon, the likes of TCU and Oregon.
Where we at, folks? I
think they got it.
They came
in UCLA.
They're getting the UCLA win. In UCLA, they're not doing it. Yeah,
I think they can.
That's gonna be a tough game.
All right, so that's where we at 5.
And UCLA got a Hall of Fame college coach right now too.
Get out of here. Who they got? Chip Kelly.
Yeah, they got Chip. They got
Get
Chip.
out of here,
Yeah.
Chip gonna blow it.
All right. Oregon State. They play at Colorado. Yeah. So that's 6.
That's gonna be a tough one though.
No.
Oregon State legit.
Thank you. Oregon State gonna come to play, and they play
Oregon
so
State
grindy
legit.
and such a different brand of football. It's hard to beat Oregon State.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough.
They're lucky they ain't going to Oregon State playing in that fog.
I wouldn't say it was a loss if they went to Oregon State, but since they got them at home, I'm gonna say they're gonna beat them.
All right, so that's 6. Arizona, they play in Colorado. It's a home game.
Oh yeah, they beating them. Beating the break from.
Easy 7 wins.
Is that homecoming? Is that homecoming?
Nah, I don't know when homecoming is. Homecoming is usually in December. I mean, in October, 1st November. Ross. Hey, Ross. That may be family night.
Yeah, family night. Ross see the 7th.
That's senior night, right? That's the last home game. All right, so
I'm down the street for the University of Arizona. Only thing they worry about is basketball right now.
There you go, and paying their players.
Hey, don't
Colorado. They go to Washington State just to wrap it off. We saying that's a dub?
No, they're gonna lose.
Be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one.
They're gonna lose that one. That's why I said 7.
And then
right at 7. Don't do no more than you need to.
In that Utah.
That's gonna be a tough one. Yeah, they losing that one.
Just stay at 7, EJ. EJ, we cool at 7. The rest of them is all good. They're getting the bowl. That's all they want to do is get in the bowl game. That's it.
That's a victory.
That, right?
Yeah, you only need 6, but they'll get 7 just for the love of the sport because it's prime.
We'll see.
Speaking of prime, do we not think he was an electrifying NCAA player?
I was gonna say you could put the whole damn 80s U on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, the U was putting them out. So, but anything Prime does is electrifying.
The thing with Prime when he was there, they didn't throw his way, so it's kind of hard to. He didn't really get a lot of opportunity. Every now and then when he got it, he made big plays, but they wouldn't throw at him.
He had some big plays in the return.
He did special teams, but defensively, they wouldn't throw at him.
But that was his same thing in his pro career either. I mean, that's literally what makes you. That is one of the weirdest. That's one of the weirdest things in sports. Like you only have to show you're that good for a short period of time.
Yeah.
To the fact that you don't have to show it anymore. So like. People like Prime, Darrelle Revis in his prime. What's the dude that used to play in Washington? Darryl Green. Like, it's just certain people which is like, after a while, you don't just test them. Like but them not testing you proves your worth.
Right, because most of Prime's highlights are special teams or when he went in offense. Yeah, he had some picks, of course. But most of his major highlights that everybody liked to view are his special teamwork and all that because they wouldn't throw at him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to put him in. I mean, you can technically, if you're just talking about because he locked it down, but there ain't nothing really to see but him just sit there and smack a ball down or somebody looks stupid thinking they're going to catch a ball on him.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, in the news, man, there's a couple of lawsuits. Uh-oh. Put the baby to bed. So, a couple of things in the news. Like, we also did a show on The Blind Side, right? So, I don't know if you guys had a chance to check that episode. But as you see back in the, what's his name? Michael Oher is suing the Toolies, man. Said that they hood-swinked him. They ran amok. You know, they played him and they're taking his money, man. So, it was interesting. We did a show on that and just kind of got some context. So I don't know if you saw that or have any kind of feels. And then after that, Reggie Bush is also in a lawsuit. So I don't know if you saw that.
What they suing Reggie for?
Reggie's suing the NCAA. So Menzel's documentary just came out on Netflix. And I don't know if you guys saw that. And it's gotten all this acclaim. And Menzel started talking about how like what they were doing. But he was like, we didn't get charged, so we didn't get caught. But, you know, he was just talking about they were getting paid, getting money, yada, yada, yada. And then once that came out, people were like, how's he going to do all of this?
Reggie went, OJ, give me back my stuff. I need my stuff back, man.
Which he should.
100% should.
I mean, it's actually just it's ridiculous.
I mean, is there a guy that won the Heisman that didn't get a check? I mean,
Tim Tebow.
Think about it though.
Oh yeah,
well, Tim Tebow was a clean player.
Yeah,
he was actually a clean player. Yeah, But
you never know, man. It came at him like, yo, we'll donate this to your organization. So he still might have got a check. It just didn't come to
People ain't got to get a check. People in his family got checks.
Yeah.
Believe that, Jack.
His nonprofit.
Anybody who believes, I think Reggie's absolutely right. Anybody who believes that any superstar athlete that plays in college is not seeing any coin is out of their rabbit ass mind. Like it's just a part of the culture. You know, some people cover their tracks better than others. And then some people know how to just shut their mouth better than others. But at the end of the day, it happens all over the place. And
it's a waste of money for the NCAA to even fight it. Just get a man we know the times change, things change. Give the man his Heisman back and just move on. Because now that Menzel just put this out, like, come on, man. Like it's just a pointless thing.
You letting Barry Bond and P. Rose in too, man? I mean,
no doubt.
Oh, without question.
No doubt. Because one thing I do know, Ross, it's a lot of people that have done steroids and done them drugs and ain't on their level. They were already great players.
Right.
It just kept them going a little bit longer than probably they should have, but they were already great. It didn't make them.
You're right. You can't say a Hall of Fame player was cheating because he took steroids. Steroids don't make you a better player.
Yeah, they don't make you a better player. You know how many clowns out here shot them up and look just like the clown they are?
We can say that about Barry Bonds, but Pete Rose, you can't get in, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Why not?
Oh, because of the gambling?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Miles, he always bet to win though. He didn't ever bet.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that, brother.
All right, I'm gonna get real deep on you. I'm gonna get real deep on you, right? There are people who have been charged with or involved with murders and rape,
allegedly,
whatever, and are in the hall. They're in the hall. So if they're in there, Pete can get in there.
Come on, man. You talking about my boy Ray? Ray ain't do that, man.
It's more than just him. It's more than just him.
Ray like that, man.
Those issues, like that doesn't have anything to do with the integrity of the game. I mean, that's just them wilding out.
I personally don't believe again, and I said this earlier, baseball is one of the very unique, independent team sports. Like everybody's responsible for their own thing. It's really hard to shave points or runs or whatever, or really have an impact in the game as an individual in baseball, just because of the way the game is played. I personally don't think he did anything to shave points or change the outcome. I think he just placed bets on the game, albeit illegal. I think he just placed bets, and if he lost, you know what I mean, he paid up. If you won,
they just said your boy Phil Mickelson was betting on the golf, man. So they investigating him right now.
Man, all them golfers bet.
He bet on the Ryder Cup though, which was supposed to be illegal.
I ain't never met one competitor that don't bet.
You think Tiger Woods and all them, they don't do side bets on each other, scorecards and all that stuff? Yep. They was doing that in those things. What's
That's fine. Don't get caught.
Yeah,
that's the integrity of the game. Otherwise, then what's the point of watching sports? What's the point of all that, man? Nah, don't do that. Don't get caught if you do it.
Yeah, but it's been too long for Pete, man. Pete about to go on here and lay down.
Sorry.
Don't let him get on in before you lay down, man. It's too long, man.
They got some cleats over there or something in the Hall of Fame, but him himself.
Why you gonna put his cleats in there though, son? That's just disrespectful. My cleats can get in, but I can't. I put in the work in them cleats.
Hey man, we'll put your jersey in, maybe even the home base.
Nah, that's ridiculous, man. I don't put my cleats in and I can't get in. That's just that's really disrespectful.
Your dirty jersey, but you are not getting in.
That's going up there like, oh man, I seen your cleats at the hall. Yeah, man.
They in there. Yep.
Also, I think to a certain point, and this is more on a philosophical level, like you really can't take nothing away from some. Like if these conversations are going to be had for decades and decades and decades. Like you can't take away the fact that Pete Rose is a Hall of Fame baseball player.
No doubt, he put in work.
He's a Hall of Fame, regardless if he's inducted or not. He's a Hall of Fame baseball player, and Reggie is a Heisman Trophy winner. Period. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't take it away. This becomes more of a just call for the sake of type of fights because you can't take it away from him.
You just don't get that 36-32 suit, so it's all good. You can be in there, but you're getting that jacket.
And he doesn't get to be on. Well, and they're taking money out of his pocket though, right? Because like Heisman has that Heisman house, right?
Yeah.
So your rate when he goes out to sign stuff, you have Heisman on there. You have a certain rate. So I don't know if they're taking that away from him, but like the commercials where you see Tim Tebow in the damn Heisman commercials,
he don't get none of the Heisman money now because he's out of the thing. That's what his problem is. It's like this is money I could be getting later on when I don't want to do TV. Nothing. This is continuous money till you're gone. So,
and the thing too, right? Like, just when they have the ceremony, they have all the past winners behind them, and he doesn't get invited to that. Like, so he's shunned out. So, like, I think he should definitely fight it. You're right, CEO. Like, it doesn't. That's still the stance, but he still needs to be a part of it.
Yeah.
He was one of the best players that ever played the game individually, as far as watching entertainment. You can't take that away.
And he's the only one that, to a certain degree, escaped the Kardashian curse. So,
damn,
that nigga Superman in my eyes.
Yeah, he got he got a little replica, but he escaped it.
It is a replica. It looks very similar.
And that's cool. It's cool to be a replica, but it ain't the real thing.
Yeah, no, he did. Hey, he got out of early.
Kardashians more now black men.
They said the boy came out the womb elusive.
Kardashians putting down black men in a way that most racist white women are.
But look how many black men want to be put down by one of them. So I mean,
well, look, you can't save everybody.
These are all self-inflicted wounds. You know what you get.
Old girl got a starting five. That jersey, that shirt that they did with her starting five in the NBA was so disrespectful.
Who's this? With who? With Courtney or
is it Kylie?
Chloe. Sorry,
Kendall.
No, Kendall. Kendall has a
Kendall
Booker. Yeah, Booker.
She got the light skin roster. She got the light skin roster. Black Griffin.
Oh wow.
I'm amazed that y'all even pay that much attention to him. I don't know nothing about none of this y'all talking about.
No, I know about it because they are ground zero for the fall of a lot.
I don't pay no attention to all that nonsense.
There's a lot of memes around them.
They're the common denominator.
I mean, we just talked about running back's career earlier. So I mean, if you only got 2 years in it, you might as well use that to get some money too. Hey,
that's why Reggie Bush struggled.
Get some residuals.
And he on TV right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get this bread back.
She did help Meek. Hey, she helped Meek get out, so he might want to see.
I mean,
shit, Miles Austin he was a real dude for a while.
Damn, I forgot about Miles.
Yeah, me too. That's crazy.
Yeah, he vanished after that one.
Who, Miles Austin?
Yeah, he vanished.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he was a top 5 receiver in some people's argument just for that reason.
Yeah, but then he vanished as soon as she was done with him.
Yeah, he saw Des Bryant come in. He was like, "Yeah, it's time for me to go anyway." So
it's a wrap.
Yeah, he don't even get any NFL checks no more because of that.
Yeah, he on somebody's coaching staff.
High school.
You think so? High school.
That man coached somebody high school wide receiver team. Talking about you can do it. Come on, man. Nobody want to hear your story.
Moving on, man. So jumping into we had Uncle Shay, man, did a big move. He left. I don't think we had a chance to talk in July. And then now they're looking for replacements for Undisputed. And it looks like Keyshawn is going to be announced as the main, because I know they were talking about doing like a rotation right now of some of the people. What do you guys think about Keyshawn and Skip?
They started this morning. It was
Keyshawn,
did they?
Okay.
Yeah, Keyshawn, Michael Irvin and Richard Sherman are on there with Skip. I don't know how long.
Okay. Yeah, what y'all think? Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of ESPN rejects. Who cares?
Nah, but I'm excited when you brought up that is very harsh.
That's the
I
fact.
think when you mentioned Richard Sherman, I was like, oh, I'll watch that. I don't think Michael Irvin or Keyshawn Johnson are entertaining with having to deal with somebody like Skip.
I don't know, man.
Like Michael Irvin,
DJ,
Michael Irvin live.
Yeah, and he did not touch that girl, DJ. I just want that on the record, man.
I believe it. I believe it.
He ain't touched her. He didn't touch her, but he wanted to. He's just waiting on her to make the right move. He'd have played now if she wants to play. Now he just tried. He's a little bit older now, so he's trying to be cool. But he gave her that look like, "Now I play now if you want to play, but you got to be right."
Hey D, they don't call him the playmaker for nothing.
I think Michael Irvin is great with somebody like Stephen A. Because Stephen A. can kind of get him revved up.
Guide him.
But Skip isn't entertaining by himself. Like he's just more ignorant and plain than whatever. So Richard Sherman being there, I like that. The other two, I don't think they add anything.
Rich Sherman gonna bump hands like him and Shannon did. I mean, he just
that's the entertainment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I think Rich is more or less
and not to say Michael Irvin and them boys ain't articulate, but Sherman is an articulate cat, man. And he can actually, he can carry his own weight. And Michael Irvin,
I watched it this morning because I wanted to see they kicked it off this morning, and to me it looks like they're kind of taking a playbook from inside the NBA, where Skip is kind of more like EJ now. Like he gets his 2 cents in about LeBron and the Cowboys, but he's more like letting them do a lot of the talking. So we'll see how that works. I don't know if that's Skip's strength, but I mean, we'll see if he can.
How'd the new theme song hit?
I think they remixed it. Whatever. Lil Wayne got something new on there.
Yeah, that's Skip's brother now, Lil Wayne.
That's cool.
My brother, Lil Wayne.
That's cool. I like it, man. I think this is about to be the end of that era anyway. Those random debate shows, including Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. I just think that's the end of how that looks.
If I never heard Stephen A. Smith say anything else,
I can't stand Stephen A. Smith.
So wait, why do you think it's the end of it? Why do you think it's coming to an end?
For a couple reasons. Like one, I think the mainstays of those topics are like LeBron is in year 21. How many times you gonna keep arguing about LeBron and Jordan? Like that's almost done. You can always argue about the Cowboys, but that gets tired. I don't think the same people kind of flow with what the Cowboys are. They're not like America's team like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like they haven't won in a long time.
All,
so that
hold up.
No. I'm a Cowboys fan. But I'm saying I'm a Cowboys fan, but like they haven't won in this era.
I don't like the way EJ just stepped in talking about
this era overlaps.
Right. So, but I think everybody else has their own like way of talking. Like you can't. Like everybody has their own show, their own pod. They get their own.
So MH is the replacement going to be a Cam Ryan and May show?
I knew somebody was about to
more
bring that
stuff like that.
Yeah. But see, so I'm glad you bring that up, Bob. So that's my point. The reason I'm gonna push back on that is because I think it's going to evolve, and it's going to be less about talking about the sports and more the culture and the lifestyle. Like everything is every platform is a hot topic. Like that's what the talking head shows are, right? Hot topics, right? If you go on Twitter, podcasts like this, they're all about the hot topics. So I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's just going to evolve.
But does that live?
I agree with that.
Does that live on Mickey Mouse though, or does that live on like YouTube?
Oh no, yeah. So I think to that point, I think the way it is now it will no longer exist on the networks. I think it'll be more. Yeah,
that era is done.
But the thing is, MH, you got more people watching stuff on YouTube and all that than actually want to pay this cable bill. So this ESPN stuff is probably, like you said, they're gonna have to dwindle it down. They ain't gonna make as much money as they used to make because now people are going to these apps. I mean, it's a world of apps. You go to the apps to watch your Netflix and all these different shows and even these sports. All I got to do instead of buying this full cable list, I just buy certain apps.
Hey, MH, remind them who took the biggest L of the year.
Oh, the ticket.
Who?
The NFL ticket. NFL ticket, boy.
That boy, they took that L. That satellite dishes, they took an LL, man.
They took a serious L.
Yeah, because the stream game is ill. People find free streams. And then boom, if I can get the free stream, then what am I gonna pay this $80, $90 for? And I'm just hit my homeboy, man, send me that stream. Or at least one of my homeboys got the whole thing. Hey, let me get that login.
And also how
if you don't got my number, text me.
Yeah.
And also how social media plays now is that you don't even need to watch the show. They posting the hot takes on their timeline.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and we're in that short kind of just give me the result kind of era anyway. Like people aren't sitting and want to develop and enjoy the game, right? Like there's a few people that like just enjoy that of the sport. So
yeah.
Hey CEO, real quick.
What's up?
I'm starting to like personally. I like the I like the recaps that I'm starting to see on YouTube. Like after the NBA Finals, the little guy that sits in the corner of the screen and just recaps the whole game. That's what I'm starting to see. Everything's just starting to evolve around that type of culture now. Just like you said, cutting it down to the short clips and just giving you a little 2-3 second synopsis on how you feel about how the game's going. It's shifting.
And the worst part about all of this is that it just plays into society getting dumber and dumber.
100%. Because
just dumber and dumber. Because now we're taking this much of a quote and we're like, this is everything this person said, and it's the norm now. Like it's actually, aside from the decline in the journalism aspect, but our attention span, our ability to critically think, to take an actual point in its entirety and figure out if we agree with it or not. That shit is out the window.
Yeah, we don't take time to actually see the whole story or watch the whole game or anything like that.
Yeah, but who cares? I mean, you got so much going on around you. Why do you even care? Something. I mean,
it's bigger than that, Bob. It's not about like you caring. It's like literally the actual exercise and use of your brain. Like when you no longer have to actually comprehend an entire thought, and they just give you the little pieces. Like that shit trickles into your everyday life, and you may not realize it, but like when you run into somebody in the grocery store and they're doing something so seemingly fucking idiotic, and you can't figure out why. It's their whole life. They don't use their brain anymore.
And I realize what you're saying, CEO, because I watch Red Zone. I don't even want to watch the whole game no more. I just turn to Red Zone. And
I hate that too, Bob. The
last time EJ was here, EJ wanted to watch the Steelers game and like watch the game. And I'm like, yo, son, Red Zone. We getting to taste it, but I do fantasy football, so I don't want to watch a whole game.
But that serves a purpose for you.
Right.
But in general, like it's just not a good practice for people to get less and less information and then formulate entire ideas with like something that came through a peephole. That's ridiculous.
I'm with you, CEO. I'm with you, brother.
And DirecTV used to have that update where it would just tell you if you input your players what's going on.
I remember that. That was whack anyways, man.
RIP DirecTV.
I ain't like that.
Hey, Bray, you in trouble, man? You in trouble?
I was about to say, like, yo, blink or something. I was like, is this a picture or is it a live stream? This person
go sit down and stare at this phone. That's it. All right.
Dang, Bray, you in trouble, brother?
I mean, I like to watch like games. I'll watch them one at a time, but the whole I got multiple screens up always. It's always got to be something.
All right, man. So wrapping this up, man. I'm gonna open it up, see if you guys got anything. I think. Oh, CEO, man, you was gonna.
Yeah, this actually is the perfect segue. So most of you have probably seen the piece with the Lowell. What's that boy's name? Lyle, the U.S. track star.
Oh yeah.
Noah Lyles.
Noah Lyles, yes, sorry, Noah Lyles. His comments and about basically he's saying, before I even get to that point, my wife brought up a good point. What was the question that was asked of him for him to reply like that? Like there's nobody, and this speaks to my point.
Back
like
to
they
your
give it a
point.
little bit, like people are like up in arms, and it's like, but what did they ask him for him to make this comment? Because it does seem like a random ass thing to say at a post-race interview in the Olympics. And like, why would you even say something like that? So it's a matter of what was the question asked and how it was asked. But,
I like that you said that because it definitely came off cocky. Like, why did this dude just come at the NBA like that?
And so this is what I was trying to
like
explain to people.
Too.
So this is what I was trying to explain to people in general. Like, I don't like everything he said is 100% right. I have no issue with it. He is factually correct. I said, but the reason why he's getting pushback is because of how he said it. The fact that he seemed very flippant. He was like laughing or whatever. It became, of course, very cocky and arrogant. And then also he used like the worst example that you can use in American sports is the NBA. Like if he would have said, world champion or what, and speaking about Major League Baseball or hockey, you wouldn't heard nothing.
I'm not gonna say baseball because I don't
think you would have heard anything either.
The NFL, NFL, hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what I'm saying. But because he chose the NBA, people were up in arms. But also his response was, and the manner he responded was so cocky and so arrogant and so trivializing of the NBA. Like they didn't even hear what he said. They heard how he said it, and they was just like, "You bugging," and they going after him. But like, fam, it's called the National Basketball Association. You can't believe you're the world champs. Like it's in the name, national. It's an American league.
It would have been a better situation if he didn't choose basketball or another sport where the greatest NBA players or the greatest MLB players aren't out here busting their ass on an international level. If he would have said like soccer, the USA men's team is dog shit, so they're not doing anything, or football perhaps because there's no international scale of the sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you would have chosen that as an example, I could have gotten behind it on more of a level.
But it was, I think, first of all, he chose the NBA on purpose, I believe.
Okay, give me really quick, so we're all on the same page, because like I told y'all before, what was like paraphrasing the comments?
So basically he said a question was asked of him that we don't know what it was.
Okay.
And his response is like, you know what really gets me mad is that I go home and I watch the NBA finals and they call them the world champs. He was like, the world champs of what? Like the United States? And he's talking about how in the world championship games, which their basketball is in it, as well as track and field, like they're competing against the world. Like these teams and these organizations represent different countries. They're playing against the world. So like, how are you possibly the world champ if you're only competing against basically, teams that are, yeah. So again, it was how he said it, and then of course people were like, oh, well, the greatest players play, and I get it, but Luka Doncic is not representing his country. He's representing the Dallas Mavericks. They're playing against Dallas. They're not playing against his country. Other international leagues.
Hey, we're playing against Toronto.
Right.
That's in the mix. All right. It's international on a small scale.
So is that the part of the argument too, right? Like it is the best in the world that come under this league?
But only in America uses those terms because there are other professional teams in Europe and all these other countries where they have international players, right? But when it's over, they're the champion of that league, not the world. You can't have multiple world champions of the same sport, right? You can't do that. So again, it doesn't matter where the people are from or where they're playing or even how premier the talent is. Your league is just where it's at, and that's it. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world. They're never world champions. You're in the Premier League, you in this, you in that. You're just a champion of that league.
Yeah,
that's it.
Until you win on the international.
So you said you agree with him? Why do you agree with him on that?
Because of everything I just said.
No, as far but all the international players that do play in the NBA, as far I know what you just said with Luka Doncic. I'm not trying to be smart and funny, but I just kind of disagree with that.
No, but it doesn't. And again, there are leagues that exist in other countries where they have American players.
Well,
they
have
marketing. They're not considered world champs because then they're not. They're the champions of that league. Imagine me. I played high school and college ball. Imagine me in high school. My team wins the state championship, but we refer to ourselves as the national champions. No, we didn't play them. Even high school teams have people from other states that play there. Like you can't change language to fit your pride. Like your league is only for this. Like that's
so it sounds like you said they should have chose their words differently because
it was his tone. It was his tone, and also if he would have picked a different league,
he came off cocky as hell.
And we don't know what the question was.
We don't know what the question was.
So
even like in baseball, I agree with you. Yeah, we on the same page.
Even in baseball, right? It's the World Series. It's not. It's not at all.
It's not at all. And even the World Series, it's American arrogance that allows for this labeling to go on, and this American arrogance is why people defend it. Because at the end of the day, the NBA were crowning world champs in 48, and they had 8 teams. They were the world champs in 48, and they had 8 teams. And they were only like in the northeast of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I think the NBA is the wrong choice too because the NBA is so built off narrative. So if you say anything about the NBA, you're going to hear about it on social and everything because they're less about the actual like game, as we mentioned. They're about highlights and narrative. If you say something about football, it doesn't like your opinion doesn't really matter if you're not a part of the football. You know, I don't know how to explain it. Like when you hear stuff from football people, it has to be from football or nobody really takes you serious. Like, well, you've never played the game. Right. But the NBA, anybody can make a comment about the NBA and is going to have some narrative. So to your point, I think he chose the NBA on purpose. To kind of create some narrative.
Because he knew this conversation would come. And this dude, he wanted to keep his train rolling. Like at the end of the day, this dude just made history on all sorts of levels, 3 years back to back, won like 4 gold medals, like just ridiculous shit. And he was like, nah, let's just keep the party going.
Yeah. And you got all these NBA players that are continuing to keep this shit relevant as well because they're commenting on it or they're reposting it on Twitter and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's definitely smart because any what's it called? What's the saying? Any
old press is good press.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this in that same vein. I mean, I think because it's an individual sport, like track is very matter of fact. Hey, if you're the best 100-meter runner in the world, you're the best 100-meter in the world just by time.
You can't argue that,
Right, but like in soccer, like we can say Messi or whoever is the best player in the world, but it's a team sport, right? Like, so how do we? That's what I'm saying. How do we say he's the best in the world? He's just the best in that league.
It's not. It's just about. I think it's about literally competing against the world. Like that's
basically because I mean Messi and Ronaldo. Messi, for the most part, has won every trophy he can win. Right? You have the Copa America, which is where like all of the Southern American teams, they all compete on an international level, and Argentina won. He won the World Cup. He's won multiple Champion League trophies. He's won, I mean, it's a fucking farmers league, but he's won La Liga too many damn times to count. But the Ballon d'Or is like, they take the top world players and there's a big countdown every year, and he's won that 7 times. He is the best player, one of the best players in the world. I can't even say it.
Yeah, so let me ask you the same argument for like LeBron. Like, is he the best player in the world based on all his accomplishments, both global and in the top league in the world?
So here's the interesting thing about sports, right? When you're talking about the best, like especially currently, or even from a GOAT conversation, right? You're usually just talking about a select few players who you can, there are different tangible things that you could point to support your argument, right? But I think the NBA is a very unique league in the sense it's not like any other league, not even from a soccer standpoint, because there's so many different professional soccer leagues. Like the NBA is the only league where the best in the world end up there, right? So when you ask that question, if your point is to me, I can't even say that you're wrong, but if your point is to say that LeBron is the best player in the world, it's easily more acceptable because it is the NBA, right? But when you look at sports like soccer, right, you can't, if Messi decides, if he's not playing in this league, like you're asking who's the best soccer player in the world, right? But it's not based on the one league that they play in. It's because he literally plays against the world on a regular basis.
Yeah,
right? and multiple leagues. And so there are certain sports where it's easy. Boxing is another thing. You're one person, right? So wherever you're from is what you represent. You're all boxers, you fight people from all over the world, right? So it's easier to be like, you're the best in the world because it's just you, and it's just you competing against different people in the world. The NBA is very unique, and I would say the NFL as well, is that these are two premier sports leagues that are based in America, in which the best in the world come to this league. Nobody goes to other professional leagues at the top of their game in the NBA or the NFL. So when you say LeBron or KD or Curry or whoever is the best in the world, it's easily more acceptable because nobody at the top of their game is leaving the NBA to go to another professional league.
No, and I said that argument just to say, so if the NBA says world champions, I mean, by definition, no, they're not world champions because there's multiple leagues, but the formulation of the top talent in the world is there, so I can make the argument that I am the world champ. Because
you're not competing against the world. At the end of the day,
but
this
you
is
are
one.
Kind of though.
No.
Like the top talent in the world.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, you made a good point, CEO. But what I'm trying to say is like with your boxing point, like I get what you're saying. You're kind of basing it off individual accomplishments compared to team accomplishments, and I get what you're saying. But does that take away from the accomplishments that LeBron has because he won it with a team instead of playing 1 against 5? You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this because in any part of this argument you could continue to chop it down to the smallest little thing, right?
The black Skip Bayless, baby.
Right. So it's like so that's why you can't say just because the top talent plays there, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier in the argument, is that these people, they're not playing another country. They're just paying a best player that's in this thing, but you're not representing the world as you play. Like you're literally representing the team that you play for. So in these world championships that exist now, like the basketball players represent the United States, right? The track runners or whatever, they represent their countries. So you're literally talking about the entire world. And again, like I said, the example I gave before, I can't win a city championship or even a state championship and call myself a national champion. Like it's just ridiculous because the teams that we're playing do not represent the nation. They just represent. And yes, I could be in New York and have a guy from Cali that's playing on the team because his mom shipped him out here because the program was better. Like you can always make these arguments, but these people that you're playing against, these other teams do not represent the world. And that is the title of a world champion. These people, wherever you play, represents another country. That's.
I get what you're saying. You make a good point. I get what you're saying with that.
I'm about 80% with you, but when the top collection of athletes in basketball skip parts of like world competition.
But this is very unique. Like I said, the NBA and the NFL are very unique in that. Most professional leagues aren't like that.
But that's what I'm saying. If I can say the NBA is the world champion, if I can say Joel Embiid, whatever country he wants to represent, he's going to – it's not just United States players. It's Giannis, it's Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if Jokic is playing. It's Wembanyama. There was all those top collection of world talent that are choosing to skip world games to prepare for an NBA season, and they're the top collection in the world. So if the NBA says, hey, you're world champion, to me that means like, hey, it's the best league in the world. It's the collection of the best talent in the world. We can go back and forth and argue this all day, I'm not going to. But I'm just a black Skip Bayless, so I got to get my little
But to your point, you brought, and it's funny that you brought up the players that skip. Here's something I want to bring to the table too, because of what the 1992 Dream Team did, right, and all of its ripples effects, right. Like the NBA, even the NBA is not looked at like when people go into the Olympics and the World Champions, then they're like, oh my God, we're about to get our ass beats, or we're playing whatever. We're not even sending our best players to play anymore. So the other countries don't need to either. Like before, it was a thing. Like Drazen and Kukoc, they were showing up to Croatia every Olympic. This is what we do. Detlef Schrempf, Germany, like this is what they did, and because they needed the manpower, also because here in America we were so far in between, but because of the ripple effect and how they've changed the game and evolved the game, there are great players all over the world, and a lot of them are making their way to the NBA, but these other countries don't necessarily need to beef up when we're not even sending our best players anymore.
All right.
Sure.
So
all right. Good stuff. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up here soon. Braylon, we want you to speak, man. Just want to make sure everything is okay.
Hey, blink twice if you need help, bro.
Yeah, just come off of mute. Just want you to say hi, man. Thank you for jumping on today. You was like, nah, bro. I can't do it, man. You're just gonna stay on mute and just stay right there, huh? All right.
I'm good.
All right, there it is. All right, so hey, we good. I'm gonna take it. We coming, we good, all of that. Season 4.
Brandon reminds me of the high dude that slept on the couch and half baked the whole time. He's just there. Don't ask so much. He's just there.
Just there. Give you a couple of lines like, hey, don't worry about me. Focus on the topic. So we're gonna stay on the topics. Right. Since you are a Jets fan, have you guys watched Hard Knocks, and then we'll kind of get out of here, man. Has anybody watched Hard Knocks?
I watched a couple episodes. The Aaron Rodgers effect, particularly in New York and on his culture, actually needs to be documented completely separately because nobody's Q-Tip, like it was just random like celebrities who don't ever even talk about football. All the Jets are at camp. You know what I'm saying? This is like, and because I'm a New Yorker, we never experienced this, at least not on the football side. But like, I can imagine what it was like, when Magic or Shaq got to LA, right? How like everybody just wanted to be around that
part
energy,
of it,
the energy. Or like when LeBron got to Miami, he's like, "Yo, this is crazy. Like I want to be around this." That's what it feels like here in New York surrounding the Jets, because I've never seen that many celebrities anywhere near the Jets.
There you go. All right, man. Anything else, man?
I think Hard Knocks is about to be direct TV in about 2-3 more years, to be honest. They almost
we talked about that.
I mean, they got the quarterback thing is on Netflix. They do. I mean, I think their season Hard Knocks is even better than what traditional like preseason Hard Knocks is now. Teams opt out. They have the final creative final say on what you put out. They don't really follow people that are getting cut because people don't get cut weekly anymore. Like, I mean, like it's about to be direct TV on Hard Knocks. To be 100%. I think that's done. Like, I like Aaron Rodgers is cool, but can we get the story about Sauce? Can I know about the linebacker that's trying to make the team? What I mean? Like, I know about Aaron Rodgers. Like,
can we get Quentin, the only man I know that sneezed, blessed himself, and thanked himself?
Thank you.
Hey, without a pause or a hesitation, dude.
Thank you.
I got a boy that's close to that.
Well, the truth of the matter is the only reason why Hard Knocks even chose the Jets is because they had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So
facts.
I don't know how else you thought the storyline was gonna go.
Because who was last year?
You said what?
The Lions.
Who? Oh, the Lions. Okay.
And that was their first year with Matthew Stafford, right?
Is that why they did them? though? They did something
Matthew
unique
Stafford,
to be chosen.
Was
Something.
the dude? Yeah.
Matthew Stafford left.
The coach, was that the first year of the coach or something?
That was his second year. That was Dan's second.
But see,
year,
like
right?
even first year coaches can opt out. So like that's the whole thing. Like you can opt out if you're a first year coach. You know how the coaching tree changes every year. So like I mean like is it really going to stand around? To all our points, like I think that backstory thing will still be a thing, but it's going to be following an individual player. It's going to be quarterback series to start. Next time it's going to be the wide receiver 1. Next time it's going to be something island is going to fall all the corners. Like it's not going. It's on everything.
It's on everything. It's becoming very just focus on the individual. Let's find.
And you have all these people going into their own media bag, right? Like
exactly.
Dion is doing a full docu-series every.
I'm about to get off and watch it now. You know what I mean? Well off media. Hey, Deion Sanders Jr., we gotta get you on the show, brother.
We gotta get you on the show. It's happening. It's gonna happen. But no, so I agree with that whole sentiment. Just because there's so many, even the ones we talked about when we talk about Menzel and that Untold, right? Like that series they're doing. And then even I think the new one they're doing was with the Gators, Florida Gators, talking about that. So it's that stuff that digs a little deeper and it's giving you more variety. So people are just not following. What you shake your head for, man?
They didn't dig enough on Florida, man. We wanted to hear some stuff, right?
We want to hear the Aaron. Like,
yeah, we touched
they danced around Aaron Hernandez. I thought
they did. Well, they did hands around a whole lot of stuff. I mean, they tap danced around a lot of stuff. So
all the charges that was happening.
I mean,
but see, this is what happens when the subject of the story is now the one telling the story, right? Which is different. Point. Before it was just like, all right, whatever the institution, the organization goes, okay, you know, we're gonna pay wherever this production company to do this piece, and they do the piece, and they may have a final say, but they're the ones constructing the story. Nah, fam, like did you see BS High?
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet.
BS High, must watch. Yo, BS High is a must watch.
But is that going to be a show? We doing a show on that one?
Yeah, we got to do a show on that.
But what is that? Netflix? What makes it? It's on Netflix. What makes it great? HBO Max. I'm sorry, it's on HBO Max. What makes it great is that it's not somebody telling a story about this guy. He's the one telling the story.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
So it makes it even more entertaining because now you're watching like, yo, this motherfucker is really crazy, yo.
Yeah, parents, we gotta do better. Hey, yeah. No, that's a great point because Steven Jackson right now will tell you he LeBron James. He remember his career like LeBron James. I was old enough. I saw your career. That's not true, dog.
At all. Now, Steven Jackson definitely feel like he a Hall of Famer, which he is not. But the way he carry himself. And it's weird, but that's the dynamic between him and Matt Barnes too, which I think is actually kind of cool. Matt Barnes is like, nah, I've been around, but I'm not that guy. Steven Jackson act like he was that guy at every point in his career. And he was
Matt
not.
Barnes is that guy though on a whole different level.
Yeah.
He's a different kind of dude.
Very
Steven
different.
Jackson, man, quit it, brother. You're not that guy.
I got a weird take real quick before we part ways.
Let's do it.
Because I came in when DJ Esco was saying, is it Esco?
Who?
CEO, my bad. DJ CEO, my bad. I came in when y'all was talking about Damian Lillard's not a rapper and stuff and Shaquille O'Neal. As a fan, like I take that personally because I feel like that's taken away from their craft. Like, not to say like shut up and shoot or shut up and dribble like that, but when I see these guys doing this rapping stuff on the side and during the off season,
not this rapping stuff.
I don't like seeing that stuff during the off season. I just don't like seeing it. I feel
well,
like
you don't like seeing them do
I don't
it?
like none of that podcast stuff. I don't like none of that rapping stuff. I don't want to see that because I came to love you. I came to love you. I came to love you as an NBA player. I didn't. No disrespect. You may be good at rapping and doing your podcast thing, but me as a fan, somebody who loves like
somehow.
That's good for them.
You can't just be in the gym every damn day. That's gonna get tired.
They making enough.
You might
fuck
around and end up a Kobe or a Jordan.
They're making enough money already. I feel.
When
they retired, and that's when they could do that stuff, man. That's just my weird take.
That is very interesting. You use the word weird. I won't do that. I'll say interesting because.
I think it would be weird for a lot of different people for that reason. Like, oh, why is this man hating on the bag? Like, nah.
But I think it's the reason why we even know about it is because they have the platform to share it. Like at the end of the day, these athletes have always been multi-talented in a bunch of things. You remember Vin Baker was what? No, not Vin Baker. But Wayman Tisdale was playing the bass in a band. I think Vin Baker sings. Or Walter McCarty sings, right? So it's just like they always have these other talents. A lot of them were actually really good at these talents in high school or college, whatever, but they chose to focus on their professional career. And I think prior to social media, I think they were always doing these things. It's just now we get to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess even for the Damian Lillard point I was trying to make, this man, he's always crying about, trying to be put on a championship team and not giving his credit, but I mean, you doing this rapping stuff like it's maybe not helping you out, brother.
Oh no, you got players like Pat Bev. Pat Bev can be in the gym all he wants. He ain't gonna be no Jordan or nothing. So, I mean, the man's bored.
See, that's to your point. That's good for him. You know what I mean? He's a 6-man, 7-man coming off the bench. He could do those podcasts. I don't want to see no stars doing no podcasts promoting their rap album. Sorry, and I hate to see when LeBron be supporting his or putting his advertisements tequila. Like, I don't want to see that stuff, brother.
Well, LeBron supports everybody. LeBron is the UN of professional athletes.
That's facts.
He supports everybody.
I hate to see Kevin Durant retweeting his stuff during the season. Like, nobody wants to see those other endeavors, brother.
That's not Kevin Durant. It's allegedly.
if Kevin Durant is doing anything in the offseason, it needs to be a fucking haircut. An application
not even
of
a haircut.
lotion,
Just brush
perhaps.
that shit, man.
Something.
Like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think it's cool. Like, people who have multiple things.
I love them as basketball players. I'm not hating on their bag or nothing, but
they're not getting a bag at rapping. Let's understand that. They're not getting the bag over there. They still getting their bag in their professional craft. But I mean, if they feel like at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a professional DJ. I rapped at one point. I played high school and college ball. Like, I did all these things.
You got a mixtape out there?
I got a couple tracks. Okay. But at the end of the day, it didn't take away from me being a great DJ. Like, that shit was just still gonna happen regardless. So
yeah, I'm with you. But I see what you're saying, Aaron, because I don't like seeing Chad Johnson box either. Like, I mean, different context, but I'm like, nah, I knew you as a total receiver. I don't want to see you box.
You want to see him get his ass whipped like Nate Robinson?
Yeah, man. Exactly. We can't even talk about Nate Robinson without mentioning that. You know what I mean? Like, just stay in your lane, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Frank Gore, like, come on, dog.
Yes.
Like, just chill out, man. Like, I don't know. I'm with
MH, though, you do like AB rapping, though.
Nah, it ain't like AB.
Hey, put that shit on. Hey, put that shit on.
It ain't like AB. He the one exception. A dead clock is right twice a day. It's not like AB.
Not like AB.
Too funny. All right, so we're about to get out of here, man. MH, you want to bring us home? And if anybody got anything else for the church, man, say it now or hold your peace.
Nah, dope, man. Good conversation. Appreciate y'all. Look forward to this every month. Football season starting, so I know we're gonna have a really spicy one in September. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be good to follow some of these seasons, checking in how our teams are doing. So I'm definitely looking forward to the season. Once again, always want to thank you all for taking some time, providing some content, jumping on here. We always talk about this being microphone therapy. So just getting on here to talk with some good folks, talk about the culture, talk about how it's influenced us, and just share some. So definitely thank you all, and we'll see you next month.
Peace, people.
Y'all take care.
You too.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.